Hi friends! Happy after Valentine's Day. I'm happy that you've joined us today. I'm Paige Delosier and I'm with Talking Points. You're with Talking Points because, I hate that you can see my reflection. We're gonna remove those. That was just a fun little beginning. That's very distracting. I'm Paige Delosier and you have joined us for Talking Points, Ask Me Anything today. And we are, welcome to Talking Points, Asking Anything this Thursday. We are going to be talking about lots of interesting things. If you have been with us the past 2 Thursdays, we have talked about the first 2 pillars of universal family engagement, and today we're going to talk about the third, which is responsive family engagement. And you can always go back on our YouTube, Facebook, or I believe it's still on Twitter, but I'm not sure if they take those down. So you can look on our YouTube for those other previous streams So today we're going to be talking about the third pillar. So we're going to be talking about responsive universal family engagement. Some great examples and ways that you can level up your family engagement. And then after we talk for a little bit about that, you have plenty of time to throw your questions in the chat and ask anything about talking points, about family engagement, and anything that falls in between. I've got Jocelyn here from the Talking Points team. She is in support, so she can also help us answer questions, and we're going to help you out. So let's get started. I am going to throw this up on the screen. If you've been with us the past couple of weeks, you've seen a couple of the first slides, but I'm going to go over them pretty briefly to just share with you what we believe about family engagement, what universal family engagement is, and then we'll dive right into the responsive portion. So how do you ensure that family engagement is truly effective? First, we've got to talk about what UFE, universal family engagement, is. So we will define that as the practice of improving outcomes for all students by fostering effective partnerships with families, regardless of barriers or circumstances. So we as educators, we do serve all students, not just the ones whose families are easy to communicate with, not just the ones who are already meeting goals, but we are going to practice improving everyone's outcomes by fostering partnerships with families, not just sending home letters or making sure they get an announcement, but making sure they fully understand what's going on, answering their questions, and building relationships with them, regardless of barriers that do exist. So whether that's their socioeconomic status, whether that's a language barrier, whether that's technology barrier, or any of the other ones that we've identified, or maybe may not be aware of because it may not be one that we've run into before. So that is what we are referring to when we talk about universal family engagement. That may not be a term that your school or district currently uses. They may just refer to in their school improvement plan or in someone's role, family engagement, but we want to start looking at it as more universal because it needs to be focused on everyone, all families. Thank you, Jocelyn, for dropping the link to last week's live stream in the comments. So if anyone needs to find those, you've got the link. So I mentioned that there are 4 main pillars that have to be present in order for universal family engagement to be effective. And the last 2 weeks, we've talked about the first 2, which are purposeful family engagement and inclusive family engagement. And you can see here what we define those as. So this week, we're going to talk about responsiveness, which we talk about as adapting and evolving to best practices and community needs. So like I said, we as educators, and I say we because I did teach for 6 years, so I can't just separate myself from teachers, from educators, because once you're a teacher, you're always a teacher. So we always are flexible, right? You never know who's going to come into your classroom. You never know what your students are going through, what the families are going through, and then what your whole community might encounter, what they might need. You also may not expect what sort of new initiatives are coming through, what the new research says, things like that, that you will need to evolve to learn to use tools, research, things like that. So that's what responsiveness is really referring to when we talk about it. So what I've done, just like the past 2 weeks, is I've pulled some really, really good stories from Talking Points users who show great examples of responsiveness in their communication with families, in their relationships with families, so that we can kind of dive into what that looks like in practice. And then you can start noodling on like, okay, how do I put this into practice with my own families immediately? Because how is this helpful if you don't walk away with thinking about how it works for you immediately? So I've got three great, oh, well, this slide as well. I'm getting ahead of myself. So for any of you who may not already be using talking points, this is just a really quick look at what the solution looks like. When you are reaching out to families, you can get on the web or on mobile. And like I said, in responsiveness, it needs to be research-based, because as research moves along, as we learn more about how families prefer to communicate, how families need to be communicated with, we want to follow and adjust to that research. And we have experts both on staff and as advisors. We, as a staff, just met with Dr. Karen Mapp today to talk about her expert guidance, and that was thrilling. Honestly, I felt like we were meeting a celebrity. So Talking Points meets with experts, and we use that expert guidance to make sure that Talking Points is the solution that teachers and families need. And then, like, when we talk about universal family engagement, Talking Points is designed around that goal for it to be universal, intentionally designed for equity for all families. And then student-centered, because they are always the center of what we are doing as educators, regardless of what your role is. Now the stories. So a couple of these are kind of long and wordy, but they are definitely great examples of how engagement with families can be responsive to what the community needs or a family needs. And I think they're very important. So this is from Carrie Del Duchetto, I believe is how you would say this, from North Syracuse Central School District. And she's a school counselor. And she said that she was working with several new Ukrainian refugee students this year. So just in context, or out of context, I believe we can all see immediately how she probably was responding to a change in her community, because we all know that a ton of refugees from the Ukraine came to the United States, and school districts did not have the translation resources, the interpretation, maybe the any types of resources for that, the capacity for that large a group of families needing immediate assistance. So she said Talking Points has been such a lifesaver. She was relying on the students' English-speaking relatives to communicate, as well as their E&L teacher. And I know that we've all, as educators, had to do that in the past sometimes. But with the app, I now have the ability to directly speak to the parents and find out their needs while maintaining privacy. I was able to purchase for the children holiday baskets, new clothes and toys, and food. I love the ease of the Talking Points app and how simple it is to communicate with non-English speakers. And then she talks about how much she loves it. So the ability, when a family comes through the door, not just they don't speak the language, but when they come through the door in a time of need that is so extreme, in a place that they were not expecting to be, where they know no one, in survival mode, and you are able to respond and adapt and evolve and make them feel welcome, and not have to have the child speak for the parent, or have another teacher scramble to speak for you, but you can directly talk to that family and say, hey, I'll be with your child today. I can be your person. You can ask me anything. We can even do it in your home language. That is able to build an immediate connection that obviously right here, like she felt that she could communicate with them. She used the word directly more than once, that was a huge, of huge use to her. And she was able to get them what they needed, even beyond what they needed, because she got them toys and baskets for the holidays. And she didn't have to rely on anybody else. That's responsiveness that goes above and beyond what we're used to, but really it's meeting needs, which should be basic. So I thought that was a beautiful story and a great example of responsiveness in engaging families, welcoming those families in. So thank you, Carrie, for sharing that one. Here's another example from high school in Tulsa Public Schools from Cindy Haley. She's a high school teacher. She said, it's easy to think that parents aren't too concerned about what's going on in their kids' classrooms, but I've found out just the opposite to be true. I teach graphic design and photography, both of which are creative, artistic outlets for my big kids. I know from personal experience that high school kids don't run home to tell their parents about what they're doing and learning in class, so I keep parents in the loop using talking points. I aim to send home bi-weekly updates of what topics we are covering and what projects we have upcoming. If my students create beautiful artwork or take a stunning photo, I send those files home too, so parents can see how creative their kids are. I chose this story because she adapted to something that she thought to be true about her students and her students' families. When she tried this new, not just this new solution, but this new way to communicate with families, sharing what her kids were doing, even though she thought, this is kind of silly, they're not going to care, they're going to think, why is she sending this stuff home? When she tried that and saw, oh, they actually enjoy getting this information, it changed her view of the families. It changed her communication with the families. And I would venture to guess it probably changed her relationship with the families, because they see that she cares a lot about their kids, about their interests in their work, and about the families enough to take the time to send them the photos and the updates of their work. So it might seem like a silly little thing that they may not care about, but just taking that small amount of time to do that and being responsive and adaptive and flexible to that little change seemed to make a big difference for her. So I really liked this story a lot. And the last one's a lot shorter before we move on to FAQ, I promise. See? This is from Shazia Kaval in Elk Grove, USD. I was able to keep in touch with the family of my student with an IEP. We have grown so close because of being able to text each other on talking points. I know that one just sounds so simple, but I chose this one because of the IEP element. A lot of times with IEPs, it's so formal and so rigid that when you have an IEP coming up, you just make sure everybody's there. You make sure we know the date. You make sure that forms are signed and everybody's coming. That there aren't necessarily a lot of and I'm not saying in every situation. I know there are tons of educators who do a great job at this, but there are also a lot of situations where it is just very formal, very get there, get the form signed, let's make sure we're making progress academically. But there can be an element, if we make an effort to it, of relationship. And because Shazia has made an effort to do that and to stay in touch between the IEP meetings, checking in and in informal ways, like through talking points, she feels like they have a close relationship. And that is being responsive to the family's needs beyond just the legal IEP ways. Okay, we can move on to FAQs. So I will remove this. Ooh, the lights are shining today. All right. We have a couple questions here. We did talk a bit about languages, especially with that first story about the Ukrainian families. So the first question I see is, how many languages does Talking Points support? I am happy to share that we currently support 150 languages, and this list is growing every year. So I'll put this in the chat, or maybe Jocelyn can handle that, and I can, yeah, I'll let you know. It's more than 150 languages. It's constantly growing as we do research, as our teams behind the scene are building and working on that. If you click on the link and look at our list, you are more than likely to find what you need. And that is that. I also see teachers are busy. Yes, they are. Can you please share some app features to make messaging easier? Absolutely. I would be so happy to do that. Let me share my screen for my Talking Points account. Few different things. First, you can schedule messages. So when you talk about being busy, one thing you can do is take a few minutes out of your day, maybe on a Monday, maybe on a Friday for the following week. Go into your messages. They can be direct messages, just to one or two families. They could be to your whole class. Write out some messages or go into your templates. Do what you need to do. You can schedule. So schedule what you need to for the following week, maybe for however you need to do that. So scheduling messages is a great time saver. And I've actually done one of our earlier live streams, if you go on our YouTube, is all about time saving features within the app. So definitely go back and look at that one. You can also use our merge fields. I believe they're called customizable fields, merge fields, that you can use within a message. So if you see right here in this template, right here it says student first name. So if I'm sending an announcement and I put one of these fields in here, there's a few other ones like teacher signature and family last name. We can send you the list. If you send this announcement to your whole class, but you only type it once and it says student first name, every single family will receive it personalized with their student's first name. That saves you a lot of time. Then you can also, I guess I've already covered it, send templates. So we have suggested templates in here for you that we've written that are, specific to some of the things that we know are going to come up, like somebody might be having trouble in class, somebody might be absent, somebody was having a great day and you want to send that message to their family. Then you can also save things that you've written that you know you're going to send another time. Save those as a template so that you don't have to rewrite it again. So that's just 3 things that will save you loads of time when you are in Talking Points. Awesome. Time is going by quick today. Let me go to the comments. Awesome. Sharing those links. Fantastic. Before I look at any other questions, really quick, I want to share our challenge with you because it's very, very exciting this week. Get ready. Your challenge this week is to enter our 100 Days of Impact giveaway for a chance to win $100. So if you could use $100 and you are a Talking Points user, we're going to put the link in the chat. I believe Jocelyn has it. If she needs it from me, I can share it with her. But all you have to do is go to the link and fill out this really quick form that is just asking for a little quick story from you about your first 100 days of school. I know we just had the 100th day of school. Some people are celebrating. Some people haven't quite hit the 100th day yet, but we're close. And let us know how you've seen talking points or universal family engagement impact your students, impacted their success so far? So have you seen attendance improve? Have you seen behavior improve? Have you seen their well-being improve? What have you seen? And just let us know, and you'll be entered to win $100. We'll be picking a winner every Friday starting tomorrow through March 15th. So all the information is there in that. Let me share the link in the comments. Oh, yep, there it is. And yeah, very excited to announce our first winner tomorrow. So that is your challenge. And we have a few more minutes if anyone has any more questions. Or if you have questions about the giveaway, or if you have questions about what we talked about today. I feel like I just ran through stuff super fast. Oh, great question. Winners will be notified via email. So the form does ask for your email. Make sure you type it in correctly. Make sure that it is one that you check because you will be notified by email tomorrow if you're the first winner. And it's every Friday between tomorrow and March 15th. So there will be 5 winners. Great question. Yes, it will be a gift card, but it will be a gift card of your choosing. We have the option to do that. These are wonderful questions. All the terms and conditions are in a link on the form. So you can go in and read the details there. I know every teacher could use this, so, and a lot of people have entered, so you can definitely get yourself in the running. You don't have to write a long story either. Just share what you've got with us. Okay, another great question about your Talking Points account. It says, if I have a teacher account, how many students can I add? If you have the free teacher account, you can add up to 200 students. So, and those can go in any arrangement of 5 classes. Just making sure that's right in my head. Yes. So up to 200 students, and you can share those classes with co-teachers by inviting them to share your class. You can rearrange them. Is it 5 classes? Let me double check. If my district adopts Talking Points, can I have more? That is also a great question. Yes, we also have, so there's 2 ways that you can have a Talking Points account. There are the free accounts that a lot of you all have that you just went into your app store, downloaded it, and you started using Talking Points for free. Fantastic. If your school or district adopts Talking Points and pays for the school-wide or district-wide account, then there are unlimited students because they're uploading from the school-wide system. And then there's not a limit to how many students there are or how many classes. So that is a great question. And I am checking to make sure I gave you the correct number on classes and students. Yes, that is correct. And classes and students are unlimited in the school and district accounts. Great questions coming through. And then also in the district and school accounts, if you are a principal, assistant principal, or at the district level, you would have an administrator level account so that you have kind of oversight of messaging and you can reach out to all of your families so that you can send those announcements that need to go out from the school level, from the district level. Perfect. And I also need to share that for that free account, you can send up to 5 class announcements and 50 direct messages to families per day. Yes. Awesome. And the free account does include videos, photos, the templates. What I was showing you in my account, I always pull up the free account on these live streams so that I can share how to do it there. The teacher account, if you are at a teacher level, regardless of whether it's free or paid for by your school or district, it's going to look pretty similar for you at a teacher level. So, ooh, I whistled. It's going to look pretty similar. So you'll see from my shared account that what you can do. So you'll have templates, you'll have pictures, attachments, polls, and all of that as well. All right. Seems like questions are slowing down for today, and I think we've answered most of them. Super duper encourage you to enter our giveaway. You never know when your luck will strike. So I will be announcing on our social media and to the email for the one person who our first winner is tomorrow. And I hope everyone has a wonderful Thursday evening and a happy Friday tomorrow. We shall see you online. Bye-bye.